What is an emergent leader? Can leadership be shared in a group? Does leadership always lead to positive outcomes? In this presentation, we will be addressing these questions as we explore another 3 important leadership concepts. These concepts need to be understood in order for us to have a healthy discussion about leadership in the context of global development. The first concept is that people can either be emergent or assigned leaders. Think of the last time you were in a large team. Who is engaging in leadership within this team at different times? Usually teams have an assigned team leader. This person is formally responsible for achieving the team's objectives and has some position power. For example, he or she can assign tasks or make key decisions. In addition, we might see other people in the team who do not have position power emerge as leaders at different times. For example, a thought leader might emerge within a team to question the status quo and influence colleagues to head in a new direction. We could call such a person an emergent leader. Emergent leaders can be a powerful force. Leaders who emerge to champion a particular cause are often driven by personal values that align with the issue they are addressing. Sometimes their lack of position power gives them more freedom to question the status quo and take risks. Many distinguished advocates for social, environmental or political causes start off as emergent leaders, Gandhi being one of many examples. The second concept is that leadership can be focused or distributed in groups. Imagine you are a member of an emergency response team responding to an urgent humanitarian crisis. In this context, we would expect the assigned team leader to use a directive style and undertake most of the leadership behaviours. We call this focused leadership. Now imagine you are in a development project team that is working in a remote community to address a long-term, complex community health problem. Perhaps various solutions have been trialled over decades with little effect, and your team needs to explore new alternatives. In this context, the assigned team leader might encourage members of the team to engage in leadership. The team leader might clarify each person's role and give each member significant freedom to engage in leadership within their role. We call this distributed or shared leadership. Distributed leadership is common when problems are complex and decisions do not need to be made quickly. The key to doing it successfully is to ensure that all people who are engaging in leadership are doing so in a coordinated manner. The final concept is that leadership must be ethically grounded. Dr. Oscar Arias, the former president of Costa Rica and recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, stated that, "More than knowledge, leaders need character. Values and ethics are vitally important. The basics of leadership can be taught. What is desperately needed is more responsible leadership, a new ethic to confront the challenges of our day." Dr. Arias is highlighting the importance of character, altruistic personal values, and ethical leadership. Leadership is fundamentally about exerting influence and driving change. Such change may advantage some people and disadvantage or harm others. Leaders must be acutely aware of the ethical consequences of building and exercising power. Without a strong ethical framework to guide their decisions, leaders are at best rudderless and at worst dangerous to society. History has shown that unethical people with advanced leadership skills can do enormous damage. I would therefore strongly encourage all developing leaders to place a high priority on developing skills in ethical thinking. That is, learning how to identify ethical dilemmas and carefully explore the pros and cons of alternative approaches using a variety of ethical frameworks. Please take a moment to reflect on whether this is an area of your professional development that needs some attention. In closing, let's remind ourselves of the 6 important leadership concepts we have covered in this 2-part presentation. 1. Leadership is not the same as authority. 2. Leadership is not the same as management. 3. All leaders need power to exert influence. 4. People can be emergent or assigned leaders. 5. Leadership can be focused or distributed in groups. 6. Leadership must be ethically grounded. Are you comfortable with these concepts, or do you need a bit more time to fully consider them? Over the years, I've noticed that adopting some of these can be transformational. For example, simply perceiving leadership as a group-based process that can sometimes be done without authority can strongly affect how people approach leadership. For some, it removes significant mental barriers that have prevented them from engaging in leadership.